When Africa unites, the date that happens, when the date gets one president and whatever that Malema said in Nigeria, the day that happens, you as an ordinary African in your respective countries, you are still going to lose, because Africa uniting is simply a business deal masquerading as simply a business deal masquerading as politics. This unification that they are pushing, it has nothing to do with making Africa stronger for the purposes of becoming stronger against the supposed enemy called the West. It has nothing to do with it. It's a business deal, because I'm telling you, it's a business deal. It's a business deal. And those that are already set now in their own individual countries, different African countries now, are said to be the biggest beneficiaries. Your politicians, and they are supporting funders, but Malema and other politicians who are talking the same Pan-Africanism in different countries. Because when that happens, there are those that will be funding its unification, will be funding it to make profit. And you would have voted for that thing and still becoming a loser at the end. When as an ordinary African, you would have voted for Malema in South Africa. I'm making an example. And in another country, somebody who shares the same ideals, another politician and another party, let's say in Zambia, sharing the same ideals, Nigeria, Ghana, sharing the same ideals, your vote would have pushed this business deal that is going to benefit the very same politicians that are already set to benefit now. Malema already set to benefit. They're already set to benefit. They've got infrastructure from business, from connections to benefit from when Africa unites. You as an ordinary South African, or even another African nationality, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Ghana, Nigeria, whatever African country, you are still going to be a loser as an ordinary African. It's not going to benefit you. That's just the bottom line. And it's going to be more problematic than before. For example, think about it. You have two people that are getting married, right? They were raised, a man and a woman, raised in two different households, two different values, two different sets of way of looking at things based on how they were raised. For an example, here they're getting married. Do you know why marriage is hard? It is because it is people struggling to unite. It is people struggling to unite who are brought up differently from two different households, two different sets of values, you know. That's why marriage is so hard and difficult, because these people are struggling to make this thing work, because they've got two different sets of way of doing things, way of looking at things, and they need to forge it to make this thing one so that it becomes successful. Now, use the same principle and think about different countries. Zambia is a country on its own. It has its own values, its own set of. Zimbabwe, the same thing. Nigeria is the same thing. Ghana is the same thing. These have been countries for years. They've been now. Imagine now uniting those different countries and making them under one president. It's more problems rather than solutions. Do you understand what I'm trying to communicate to you? Because Zambia will be bringing its own baggage, Nigeria will be bringing its own baggage, Zimbabwe will be bringing its own baggage, Ghana will be bringing its own baggage, and now politicians would have made deals up there so that they can benefit they themselves and their own respective comrades up there, those that are pushing for this unification of Africa, and also the business people that are funding these narratives and that are funding this whole thing to become one. And you as an ordinary African, you're still going to be the biggest loser. And now this country is bringing their own by trying to force them to be one under one president. Already as an individual country now, already as South Africa, we've got problems. Already as Zimbabwe, you have own problems. Already as whatever, Nigeria, you have your own problems. Or Ghana, you've got your own problems. And now we are forging, and I'm just mentioning only 4 countries, many countries. And remember, you still have those Arab states up north there, which have different sets of values, and you're trying to make them into one Africa together with us. It's a recipe for disaster. There is no way. What Malema said in Nigeria does not make sense. The unification of Africa is not about Africans. It's a globalist agenda. And when the day that happens, because it will happen at some stage, it was not going to benefit an ordinary an ordinary African. It's going to benefit those that would have funded it and the politicians that would have pushed for it. And you, as an ordinary day-to-day, hard-working African trying to make ends meet, you are going to be the biggest loser. And the very thing that they've been selling to you, that we're going to be stronger together, one military, fight against it, that would have been long gone. That would have been scrapped. And you would have been left with the sentimentalism that we've got one president and we are one Africa, but still, you are more poorer and more struggling than when you were in your own individual country. One Africa. Nyagalani.